When subtracting a fraction from another fraction where they have different denominators, where they have no common denominator, you're going to need to turn one or both of the fractions into equivalent fractions. In this example, we have 14 out of 15 and 1 out of 5, and we can see that we can turn the 1 out of 5 into an equivalent fraction that will also have 15 at the bottom, because 15 is in the 5 times table. Okay, so we're going to turn this fraction into a fraction that is out of 15 as well. That's what you need to do to make these work. To turn 5 into 15, we have to times it by 3. 3 times 5 is 15, and I'm just going to jot it at the bottom here so you can see what I'm doing. If I times 5 by 3 to get 15, I have to do the same to the top number. I have to times that by 3 as well. So 5 times 3 is 15, 1 times 3 is 3. And now I have an equivalent fraction to 1/5. 1/5 is the same as 3/15 because I timesed both numbers by 3. You can see 5 times 3, 15, 1 times 3, 3. Once I've got a fraction that is the same denominator as our first fraction, I can just do the simple takeaway. I've got 14 out of 15, take away 3 out of 15. Well, 14 take away 3 is 11. 11/15. Let's do another example. In this example, I've got 12 as a denominator, so I'm going to need to turn my 4 into 12 as well. I'm going to have to turn my fourths into twelfths. How can I do that? Well, I need to use my times tables and know that 4 times 3 is 12. So 1 times 3 is 3. Whatever I do to the bottom number, in this case multiply by 3, I have to do the same thing to the top number, multiply by 3. You've got to keep it the same, and that will make your equivalent fraction the same. So 1/4 is exactly the same as 3/12. Okay? Now I can do a simple takeaway. 8/12 take away 3/12 is 5/12. And that's my answer. The harder examples, you may have to do some simplifying at the end. If you haven't done simplifying, you should look at the simplifying fractions activity first. First thing we need to do is what we've done before, turn this fraction into twelfths, so we can do 11/12 take away some twelfths. To turn these into twelfths, I need to times my 4 by 3. 4 3s are 12, so I need to times the top number by 3 as well. 3 1s are 3. So 1/4 is the same as 3/12. 11/12 take away 3/12 is 8/12. So far that is correct. That is not wrong, but it asks you to simplify the answer. To simplify the answer, you need to find a times table that you can divide both of these by. And I always look for 2. If both of these are even, I always start by dividing by 2. In this case, I can divide 8 by 2 to get 4, and I can divide 12 by 2 to get 6. And as I look at them, they can still be simplified further because they're both even numbers and they can both be divided by 2 again. 4 divided by 2 is 2, 6 divided by 2 is 3, and that's as simple as I can get because there is no times table that I can divide 2 and 3 by. So once you've made it into the simplest numbers with no times table that goes into both of those, you can submit your answer and get it correct. So once again, multiply one fraction up by a number to get it to be equivalent, same denominator as the other one, an equivalent fraction that's the same denominator, do the subtraction and simplify if it asks you to.